Hello everyone, welcome again. In any application, either we are working on any project or we are going to perform any operation with database. We do perform these basic four operations. We can create a record, read it, update or delete it. So in this video, we are going to discuss how we can implement these four operations with Spring Boot and JPA. So let's start it. First, we are going to create a new project here. Let's create a new project, Spring Starter project, and here we can give all the information about the project. Let's define the name of the project. After that, we can define other fields also. We can change here the package name. Now click next. Now here we can add all the dependencies that we required in the project. Let's add Spring Web. We need H2 database, JPA and MySQL driver. After clicking finish, it will create a new project. So you are able to see this is the project that it has generated. If we see the package, and these are the classes that by default it comes. So here we are going to create a new controller. So we can give the class here user controller. We have created here the user controller. But before proceed to go to define the methods and REST controller, we have to be discuss something, the methods, the operation that we are going to perform. So let's first discuss that. Our class is like user controller. The REST controller that we have created is user controller is given this below. So this is the create, read, update and delete operations, and with respective to the operation, the method that applicable also be we have defined. So for create there will be a post request, for read, get, update, put and delete the delete request. And also these are the API URLs that map to these operations. So we need to create a for method in our user controller class. The for method will be create, read, update, delete and all the APIs we have defined on these four operations. So let's create that methods in our user controller. Here we have to define it, the REST controller, as we are going to make a REST API. So we have to define here the REST controller. So we are going to annotate it at the REST controller, and here we can add request mapping. So all the requests that come to this controller is mapped with the user in the prefix. Now I'm going to create a first method that is for creating the record. We annotated post mapping, and this is the method we are going to create, user method, that will return the response entity. In the response entity it will return the status and the object, the user object basically. For now let's return it null because we have to create the user entity also. We have to define here the method for the get mapping whenever we want to get any user detail. So this is the method that will be called to request for any user detail. Now first we need to create a user entity, because the user entity will be used for all the methods, so that we have to define first. So I have given here the name as user DTO, and we are adding in the different package. To define any entity, we should have to be annotated at entity on the top of the class, and here we can define that table name also. Now here we have to define the attributes that we required in the entity. So to make it simple, we are not going to add many attributes. So here we are adding these attributes: the ID and the name, the email address. So the ID will be the primary key in this entity. So for that we have to define the long that ID with a long data type, and we annotate it at the rate ID, and also the generated value. Whenever we define any primary key, we should have to be define the identity or the auto generation. So automatically the value should have to be defined to it. Let's now create the other attributes here. These are the attributes that I have created here, and I have defined the column name also. The email address must be unique. So here I have added some other field as well that we required in this entity: the created on date and the updated on date. And I have added the not blank validation also. If we are not going to pass anything in the fields, then it will throw an exception. And on the below have added the two more methods, the pre-persist and the pre-update. So for that, it will automatically update the date whenever the user create an object in the table. So automatically create will be update, and the update also. And here I've added the other getters and setters methods also. So this is the entity that we are created here, and all the attributes, the methods are there in this entity. Now here this entity we will use in the user controller. Whenever we going to pass anything, whenever we're going to create any record, then from the JSON body, the request body, we will expect these fields in the request. So from the user controller, then we will request to user service that will access the data or create the entry in the DOI layer with the repository. Then we will return the response back to the API. So here now we going to add some more interface and classes. Now first add the user service interface here. Let's define in the package services, and we are going to define here some of the methods that we will use in this service: the create, record, or other operations that we are going to perform. So here I have added these four methods that we need in this user service interface. Let's auto-wide that user service interface here for the dependency, and we can fetch or we can access that methods. Now let's create a user service implementation class that implement the user service interface that we already created. This user service implementation will implement the user service interface, and we add the implementation methods. Let's create the user repository as well. User repository helps to perform the operation within the DB. So this is the interface, the user repository interface that we have created, and we're going to extend the JPA repository. In the JPA repository, we can give the user DTO, the attributes, and the long that we have the primary key ID. And here let's define the attributes that we required when the request come to the controller. You can also create a user controller interface, but to make it easy, so I didn't create it, but we can create it. So here we are going to create a user. We are calling the user service method and passing the user object here, the user DTO, and we are going to return here the response entity with the status and the user DTO, the response that we get from the user service layer. And I have changed from the request param to path variable, so the request param will not be used in this get mapping request. So here the same way have calling with the user service the get user details, and same way we return here with the response entity. So the response entity in the creation, the status will be created, but here we can give OK status, the 200 and 200 response. We'll discuss the status in some another video. What are the status we used on the REST APIs? So here auto-write the user repository as well. With the help of user repository, we can perform the DB operations. As we are using the JPA repository here, that is very easy to use it. Most of the boilerplate code is removed here. We don't need to write so much of code as we earlier doing with JDBC. So here same way we are returning back to the user detail for the get mapping. Let annotate the service and the repositories. Now we can run the application to test it. So application is started here, but before going to test, we need to add one more thing, the properties for the H2 database. So let's add that also. Now we can run the application to test it. Let's first open the Chrome here to check the H2 console, the database. Is the entities created fine? So here is our user details entity and it's created. Now let's create a new user here. We need to pass in the JSON body here. There is need to change in the URL, the port address. Now it's created fine. Let's test the get API. There is some internal server error. Let's check the code. So here we need to use find by ID method. Find by ID method returns the object with the use of ID, as the user ID is primary key here. We need to one more thing, the optional. Let's convert this optional into the user DTO. Now we can test it. Let's restart the application. So application is started now. Let's just test the get API as well. We created the object. It's coming. Let's just test get request also. Yeah, it's working fine now. So if we're going to create user again here with the same email, it's throwing an exception because we have added here there the unique attribute. We'll discuss this in the next video, the REST operations also.